What's going on, everyone? So we are rapidly approaching the beginning of free agency and the beginning of the offseason, the official beginning of the offseason. Rob Pelinka is absolutely going to have his hands full, right? Rob Pelinka's got to get guys signed. He's got to try to get free agents to come. He's got to try to explore and find trades to upgrade the roster. He's got to try to put a championship contender on the court to begin the season. He has his work cut out for him. And I'm sure he's already started the process. I'm sure he's already doing his due diligence. There's been tons of reports about free agents that they're targeting, about trades that they're working on and discussing. So Rob Pelinka is very likely in the lab right now cooking. And I trust Rob Pelinka. I believe in Rob Pelinka, and I know he's going to do whatever he can do. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait. We have a very good roster, a team that was just in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think the Lakers necessarily need a huge grand slam swing. Now, if you can get one that makes sense and you can find a trade that makes sense, then by all means, absolutely. But I think if he has to, and he has to wait and be patient, and we have to go into the season with basically the same team, I'm all for it. I don't mind that at all. And then as we approach the trade deadline, make adjustments accordingly, right? That is something that very well could be the case. The Lakers right now, as currently constructed, are a playoff team without a doubt. Again, they were just in the Western Conference Finals. This is a team that absolutely, I believe, is a contending team. And they added some nice draft picks, and they'll probably add a couple of free agents. But what is the priority, right? Again, Rob Pelinka has numerous things he needs to work out. So what order should Rob focus on? Now, this is something that, of course, is up for interpretation, which is why I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. So let me know down in the comment section below. And I trust, again, Rob to do his job and figure out what you need to do. But the reason this is a real question is the Lakers have free agents, right? And it's easy to say, well, sign Rui Hachimura, sign Austin Reeves, sign D'Angelo Russell, all of these things, right? Get that done. Do that. That's the priority. Do that first. Couple things about that. One, especially like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and guys like that, they're cap holds, right? If the Lakers can get deals done and do things and kind of hold off on stuff, it makes things easier. Gives them a little more flexibility, right? They have a little bit more money. Also, like guys like D'Angelo Russell, do you find a proper trade, right? Do you look to move some pieces and get some things done and rearrange some chairs here a little bit, right? Not having to rush to go and sign these guys immediately gives the Lakers a lot of flexibility. Now, it also depends on the price, and you also don't want to lose these guys. Now, the Lakers can match anything for Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. D'Angelo Russell, on the other hand, they can't. If he just wants to leave, he can absolutely leave, and that could become a problem. Now, I know some people look at it and go, who cares? That's a 17, 5, and 6 guy that is very good, very talented, and we can't replace. If D'Lo just walks, we have no way to replace him. It's not like he leaves and all of a sudden we have $30 million in cap space. It's not how it works, right? So the Lakers need to absolutely keep these guys. But if they can hold off on their contracts, then that would be ideal. And then they can kind of focus and shift on the other things that they need, right? Because you want to know what your roster looks like, right? Who's available? What's out there? You don't want to sign D'Angelo Russell prematurely and you could have gotten Damian Lillard or something like that, right? Does another team, do you work out some sign and trade for a Rui Hachimura? Does again, we're just using it as an example. I'm not saying it'll happen, but let's say Dame does become available and you have to give up Austin Reeves, right? The Lakers would do that in a heartbeat. You're talking about Damian Lillard, right? You'd still be able to keep Rui Hachimura, you'd still be able to keep D'Lo, you'd still be able to keep basically everybody, right? So again, it's one of those things. It depends on what free agents, what availability is there. Does some big marquee guy want to come? Does Brook Lopez say, I want to come, but I only take the full mid-level? Well, now the Lakers have to kind of finagle to do that, right? Because if you give Reeves the max, you give Rui the max, you give D'Lo the max, now you can't do that, right? So the Lakers have to avoid the second tax apron. All of these things are factors that could play, that it's not as straightforward as like, hey, re-sign the free agents you already have and then go look elsewhere. Because again, then you lose a lot of your flexibility. So what do? Do you go and focus on free agency first? That's probably best case scenario, right? Can you get a commitment from a Brook Lopez? Does Dallas play around with Kyrie too much and he say, okay, I'm just going to go to the Lakers, right? Because you can sign Kyrie and still keep Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, again, depending on the salaries, depending on how things go, depending on how you structure it, who signs first, all of these things. So ideally, if the Lakers can go and make a push for their targets, again, just using guys as an example, but Brook Lopez and Kyrie and whoever else, right? If you can make that push, get that commitment, get them ready to on board and signing, well, now you can start putting the pieces to the puzzle of like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Let's go get this guy. Let's go get that guy. Because again, you sign D'Lo, you sign D'Lo to $25 million a year. Let's say you do 4 years, $100 million. You sign Reeves to the full max, right? So now he gets 4 years, $100 million. Although his first 2 years would only be like $12 million, but still, right? You do that. Rui Hachimura, right? You have him. Do you go and give him 4 years, $80 million? Well, now you've messed up potential cap flexibility. You messed up, being able to maybe potentially signing a Brook Lopez. There's talks and reports about the Lakers maybe being interested in signing D'Angelo Russell to a front-loaded contract. Well, if you can get, let's say Brook Lopez. We'll stick with Brook Lopez. Let's say Brook Lopez says, I want to come. I want $12 million. Do you try to give D'Lo a poison pill contract like you would, like you're going to for Austin Reeves? Do you tell D'Lo, okay, we're going to give you, we were going to give you 4 years, $80 million. We're going to give you 4 years, $100 million, but we're only going to give you $15 million the first 2 years because we want to go sign Brook Lopez, but we need to basically cut your salary in half so we can have the full mid-level, right? And then that allows us to have the full mid-level. Again, with the new CBA, the new apron, which essentially hard caps, teams are going to have to be creative with free agents and new signings. So do the Lakers start kind of like, okay, well, let's try this puzzle piece over here. Let's try this over here. Let's move this over here. Okay, well, that fits there. Okay, perfect. Get my point? Like, it's not as cut and dry as like, here's step A, B, and C, right? And that's why I think that this is a very interesting video. This is why I think it's something that's very interesting to discuss, because any move the Lakers make could impact the next move. And it can impact it in a positive or negative way. Now, again, you don't want to run the risk of losing guys. So it's a very fine line and it's a very big juggling act that you have to figure out in order to achieve the end goal, which is putting the best roster with a championship contender around it. So if you can go and sign a free agent that you covet and get that done first and get kind of the free agents in line and then figure out the contracts and how you need to approach it in order to do so, then that would be ideal, right? That would be the approach. Same thing with trades. Lakers are shopping Mo Bamba, Malik Beasley, first round pick. Do you go and try to push those trades first, right? Because again, you don't want to sign D'Lo and now you can't trade him, and a trade comes up that you could have pulled off if you want a D'Lo, right? Great example. Chicago Bulls are reported to want Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba wants to go to Chicago, but they also are looking for a point guard. They also really want a point guard. Can you work something out where you end up with like Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Andre Drummond? That solves 3 of your needs right there. Another replacement for Dennis Schroeder, because the Lakers are probably losing Dennis Schroeder. Get a point of attack, sizable guard, 6'5". Him and Austin Reeves would be a terror. You get a center that can be a starter or a backup. So now you got somebody that can just, when you do have that inevitable matchup against Denver again, just have another big body that can wear him down. And you get another star, right? You could have all three things for D'Lo and Mo Bamba. So again, it gives the Lakers that, hey, we should wait on signing this guy. We should wait on making this big swing with these guys. It makes things tough because there's not really a right answer, right? In a perfect world, you go get your trade lined up, you go get your free agent that you want lined up, and then you figure out the rest, right? You go and if you're gonna sign and trade D'Lo, you sign and trade D'Lo, go get those pieces, right? You try to keep it to where you have, okay, I have this amount of money. Okay, let's go offer this guy that contract, see if he accepts. Oh, he does accept. Boom, now we got that. Also, the trades could dictate what you need. Let's say the Lakers, for example, let's say that they go and they are able to trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Again, just an example. Well, now you don't need a Brook Lopez. So that changes everything. Okay, well, now what do we need in free agency? Oh, we weren't able to get Dennis Schroeder back. Okay, so we're going to need a backup point guard, right? Can we get this other shooter? Oh, do we need more shooting? Okay, let's go get Seth Curry or something like that, right? Each cause has a different effect. If you're going to pull off a trade, you ideally want to do the trade first because then that lets you know what your other needs are in free agency. If you go and let's say you don't go and you don't do the Pacers trade. Let's say you do the Chicago trade. Again, if you get Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Andre Drummond, okay, well, now you kind of got your Schroeder replacement. You got your backup center. You got your other third star. What else do you need? Right? Do you need... How are you approaching it? Are you having Austin Reeves play the point and then DeRozan at the 2 and then, Rui at the 3, LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5? Or do you go Drummond with LeBron at the 3? Or do you still go and try to get a Brook Lopez? Would Brook Lopez take a taxpayer mid-level? Right? So now you got Reeves, DeRozan, LeBron, AD, and Lopez. And you still have these guys, again, just using these as examples, but you can see how each cause has a different effect. So it's very interesting, and I'm curious to see what Rob Pelinka and the Lakers prioritize and the order in which they do this. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What would be your order? What route would you want to go? Right? What would be your ideal scenario? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, again, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.